You're watching Game Catcher. We're gamers, we do honest reviews of video games, walkthroughs, and we show you cool clips and interesting things we found or come across. We have various competitions and giveaways which we're doing on our channel. Just like, comment and subscribe to our channel and you'll be eligible. After reaching 1,000 video likes, we'll be giving away a copy of the game or an equal amount of cash to a lucky gamer. You can find out more on our website, gamecatcher.io. If you've not subscribed, you're missing out. Dying Light 2 is a follow-up to 2015's Dying Light, which sold over 5 million copies. It's a post-apocalypse zombie survival RPG, and that means it's awesome. You're in a city called Haran. It's an open world, it's massive. You can walk around it, move around, swing through. You've got all sorts of parkour. You have a grappling hook. You have a parachute. It's an open world RPG. And that means you can move through it at will. You can go and check out the different side streets. You can go and see what's happening in the different places. You can go on the main quest or various other side quests. You can help people out. And all the different actions you do have an effect. Because if you're helping someone, then they're going to like you, they're going to want to help you out next time as well. So all your actions have an effect on everything else which is going on. You're in a city called Haran, and this is 4 times larger than the city which we saw in 2015's Dying Light. Now, we first got a glimpse of this and what we're going to be playing at E3 2018 when we saw the first trailer for Dying Light 2. Now in Dying Light, the main protagonist who you play as is Kyle Crane. But at the end of the expansion pack, the following, Kyle dies. And so in this game, they come up with a new protagonist, and this is Aidan Caldwell. Now Techland, the company which produced Dying Light and Dying Light 2, they really wanted to go to town on a storyline. They really wanted to see how they can improve this, and they put as much life and love and passion into this game to make this as nice as possible, as much as an in-depth experience for you as possible. And so they hired Chris Avellone, who was known for his work on Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic 2, and Fallout New Vegas. And Chris has this awesome ability to really improve storylines, and that's what he did with this game. Now they had various factors that they wanted to improve. You know, you produce one thing and you go, oh, this could be better, that could be better, that could be better. And they've worked on every single one of them. They wanted the world to be more interactive, so it's more interactive. They wanted a lot more detail in the world. They wanted a lot more grime, a lot more grunge. They wanted you to really soak into it and feel like you were in it. They wanted you to become immersed in this game, and that's what they really worked on. And the world itself looks amazing as a result. The city looks a lot like Mad Max, or a lot of the art of it looks a lot like Waterworld. It might not be Waterworld and it might not be on water, but just the art has that sort of same or similar kind of vibe. Now, how long it takes you to play through, it's very hard to measure in any open world game because it depends on all the side quests you do, and if you just move through the main storyline, which factions you befriend, how you change it, like, oh, I trust this guy, and then you don't trust him anymore, and you trust someone else. So it depends on what you do and how you move through the story. And also other things you do, you go, oh, I want to build these weapons, I want to work on this, I want to work on that. All this takes time. But if you just follow through on the main story, you can expect to spend 15 to 20 hours just to get through that main storyline. If you want to do all the side quests, you're going to be looking at over 100 hours of gameplay just to get through this. Now when this is released, it's going to be available on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and PC. And if you have a PS4 or an Xbox version, you get a free upgrade to PS5 and Xbox Series X when they come out, when the game's available for them. Alright, so let's take a look at the storyline. Now this takes place 15 years after the last game, and it starts out with water turned off throughout the city, so you have to get this on so people can drink and survive. But right from the beginning, they wanted to captivate you with the RPG aspect of this game, and so they've given you a number of really important decisions to make. It starts off with a meeting. Your friend's trying to get the water turned back on and he gets shot. So you have to decide now, are you going to go after the guys who shot him, or are you going to stay with him? And if you go after the guys that shot him, he dies. And if you stay with him, does he live? Now let's say you go off and you're chasing these other guys, and then you go, okay, you got to gain entry to the stronghold. Now do you do this by force? Do you do it by coercion? You have to choose that. When you go in, you're given new information. So now do you change allegiance? Because this new information is completely contrary to what you believe up to this point. So right there, you've got this massive, possibility of an allegiance shift. Or do you keep going and go, we're going to get the water on? So let's say you keep going to get the water on. Well, that's fine. But now when you get the water on, the water's all being held back by this big dam, and all the water rushes out. And what happens is this area of the city that was flooded is no longer flooded. So now you have a new area of the city you can explore. But you also have zombies oozing and coming up out of the mud. So you've got new enemies coming as well. So all of these different decisions have these big effects, and you have to decide, and it changes the entire game and your entire experience. It's really nice to see, because in quite a few RPG games, the main story stays the same and there's nothing you can do in order to change it, really. But in this one, it really feels that the storyline changes depending on your decisions. Now on these zombies, they've really gone to town. They really wanted to rework them. And they've taken inspiration from all sorts of zombie games. They've taken all sorts of zombie movies. They've taken it from Night of the Living Dead, The Walking Dead, you name it. They've probably taken it from it. But they've really worked over these different types of zombies, and they've worked on the life cycle of the zombies. We don't really think much of a life cycle of a zombie. But in this, they've gone, okay, when they're first bitten, they're called virals. And they're still very fast and dangerous. But gradually they slow down and they become what they call biters. They're not so fast, they don't move so much, but the bite is really dangerous. But then they gradually decay, and they decay as they spend more time in the sun. They become damaged and they become known as degenerates, and bits of their bodies fall off. But the degenerates are not too dangerous to you because, they can't chase you really or catch you. You just got to know where they are and stay away from them. But also these zombies, they have another completely different path they can follow. Some of the infected turn into volatiles, and these are the most dangerous, the extreme night predators. If you see them, run. You cannot beat these guys, you cannot fight them, they will kill you. So it's exciting to see these new enemies. They've also added dark zones, and these seem to be areas of darkness where the zombies hide during the day. So, you'll be running over something, the floor will cave in, and you'll fall through, and you'll suddenly be in this dark zone, and there'll be all these zombies around ready to attack you. At this point, you really want to get out. But you also have to worry, because in these dark zones, it's much more likely that the infection will kill you. So you're also kind of like on a timer to get out. Now, to help you get out, you have a UV flashlight. You can shine it in their faces to back them off. But also you have a UV flare, and that's kind of like a wide flare which hits them and pushes them back and gives you a few seconds to get out. But this time, you have to watch when you're climbing. If you're on a ladder, you're not safe. They can grab you when you're climbing. They can try and pull you off. They can attack you, bite you. So, you got to pay attention. And when it comes to fighting, you do the regular kicks, punches, flying kicks. When you do these flying kicks, the zombies literally fly. You get guns, you get swords, you get knives, you mod your weapons. In the demo, we see a sort of electric knife, and the gameplay is very graphic. What can I say? You get decapitation, you get dismemberment. But also you have to watch your weapons. You don't just want to use them willy-nilly necessarily, because they decay and they deteriorate as you use them. So you kill a few zombies, you don't have a weapon anymore. So you got to watch out, what you're using it for. And like I said earlier, they've really gone to town on the parkour elements. And this is awesome. This is one of the best parkour games out there. In this game, they've doubled the number of moves from Dying Light. You still have that missile drop kick, but you have the wall running, you have a stamina meter, and it goes down as you parkour or use your grappling hook or parachute. You can't just endlessly use these perks, that's the idea with it. But you can also grab zombies when you jump off buildings and use them as a cushion to cushion your fall. In Dying Light, you could take dead zombie blood, you could smear it on yourself, and it would work as a camouflage, and it would disguise you to 15 to 20 seconds. So kind of like long enough to move around, but not long enough to escape unharmed. And in this game, we're also seeing that as well. You can also disguise yourself with dead zombies. Now, when it comes to release date, we're not 100% sure. With Dying Light 2, they were originally aiming for a spring 2020 release, but with recent developments in the world, it's been delayed. But you should know, a delay in a video game is usually a good thing, because it means bugs are being removed. It means the game's going to feel more polished when you get it. It's going to feel more refined, and it's going to be a better experience for you. It means that all those things that programmers and the developers want to handle, they can actually be handling, and they can actually resolve. You don't want to have like, oh, they really wanted to handle something, but they didn't handle it, and it came out to you, and they don't feel proud of the product. So when they delay it, it's usually a good thing, because it gives them that time that's necessary to get things handled which need to be handled. Now, the amount of detail which has been added for Dying Light 2 is just amazing. They've spent a lot of time on upgrades of the first game, adding expansion packs and so on to that game, and you just know they're going to be spending a lot of time upgrading this game too, updating it, adding in extra content. And who wouldn't want to add extra content to this game? It's just beautiful. Because it's an RPG, you get to choose your enemies, you get to choose your friends, and you get to side with the different factions and the different groups as you go. When you see this game, you are just going to want to play it. Who doesn't want to be a flying... Who doesn't want to be a flying ninja zombie killer? Because that's pretty much what you are with this. Alright, we're curious to know, what are you looking forward to doing in Dying Light 2? Thank you for spending time with us. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos for you to pick next. As always, the conversation continues on social media, and we can't wait to have you back.